The boy stood at the tall iron gate, like a shadow waiting for the sun to notice him. He was small, 7 years old, maybe. His clothes were clean but worn thin at the edges. His shoes had been tied too many times, the laces fraying like old rope. He held a white envelope in both hands, pressing it against his chest like it might fly away if he let go. Behind the gate stood a mansion so big it looked like 3 houses stacked together. The windows gleamed. The grass stretched out like a green ocean. Everything was perfect. Everything was still. Adrian Hart didn't see the boy at first. He was too busy, always too busy. He moved through the marble hallway of his home with a phone pressed to his ear, talking fast about numbers and deals and things that seemed important until they weren't. His suit cost more than most people earned in a month. His watch sparkled in the afternoon light. "Get me the contract by 5, he said into the phone. "No excuses." He barely looked up as he walked past the window, but something made him stop. A small face, 2 dark eyes, a boy standing at his gate. Adrian frowned. He ended the call. He walked to the front door and pulled it open, stepping onto the wide stone steps. "Hey," he called out. "What are you doing there?" The boy didn't run. He didn't look scared. He just stood there, holding that envelope. "I have something for you," the boy said. His voice was soft but steady. Adrian crossed his arms. "Who sent you?" "My mama." "Your mama?" Adrian felt a flicker of annoyance. "Kid, I don't have time for games. Go home." But the boy didn't move. He lifted the envelope higher, pushing it through the bars of the gate. "Please," he said. "It's important." Something in the boy's eyes stopped Adrian from walking away. Something serious. Something old, even though the face was young. Adrian sighed. He walked down the steps, across the stone path, and opened the gate. He took the envelope from the boy's small hands. It was light, just a piece of paper inside, maybe 2. "Okay," Adrian said. "I'll take it. Now go home before it gets dark." The boy shook his head. "I can't read," he said quietly. "Can you read it to me?" Adrian stared at him. "What?" "I can't read yet," the boy repeated. "Mama said you have to read it out loud. To me. She said it's important." Adrian felt his chest tighten. Something about this felt wrong. Or maybe it felt too right. And that was worse. "Fine," he muttered. "Come inside." The boy followed him through the gate, across the perfect lawn, and into the giant house. His shoes squeaked on the marble floor. He looked around with wide eyes, but didn't touch anything. Adrian led him to the sitting room and pointed at a chair. The boy sat down, his feet dangling above the floor. Adrian tore open the envelope. Inside was a letter, folded once. The handwriting was neat and careful, like someone had taken their time with every word. And underneath the letter was something else. A photocopy of a birth certificate. Adrian's hand started to shake. He pulled out the certificate first. His eyes scanned the paper, moving faster and faster. Child's name, Malik Hart. Mother's name, Amara Bennett. Father's name, Adrian Michael Hart. The room seemed to tilt. Adrian's face went pale. All the color drained away, like water down a sink. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. The boy, Malik, watched him carefully. "Are you okay, mister?" Malik asked. Adrian couldn't answer. His mind was spinning, tumbling backward through time. Amara, he remembered her. God, how could he forget? It was 8 years ago. A gala, a night filled with music and laughter and champagne that sparkled like stars. She wore a blue dress that moved like water when she walked. Her smile was warm. Her laugh made him feel like he mattered. They talked for hours. They danced. They left together. One night, that's all it was. One perfect, reckless, beautiful night. And then he left. He had a business deal in another city. He had plans. He had a life that didn't have room for complications. He told himself he'd call her. He told himself he'd come back. But he never did. He buried that night under meetings and money and the noise of his own ambition. He convinced himself it didn't matter, that she didn't matter. Now, standing in his perfect house, holding this paper, he knew the truth. It mattered. She mattered. And this boy, sitting in his chair with patient eyes, mattered most of all. Adrian looked up at Malik. "What's your name?" he asked, though he already knew. "Malik." The boy said, "And your mama, Amara, she sent you here?" Malik nodded. "She said you needed to know. She said it was time." Adrian swallowed hard. His throat felt tight. He unfolded the letter with trembling fingers and began to read. Not out loud. Not yet. He needed to see the words first, to let them sink in like stones dropping into deep water. "Dear Adrian, I don't know if you remember me. Maybe you do. Maybe you've spent 8 years trying to forget. Either way, it doesn't matter now. The boy standing in front of you is your son. His name is Malik. He's 7 years old. He's kind. He's brave. He's smart, even though he can't read yet. He will learn. I never told you about him because I was afraid. Not of you, of what you might do. You had power, money, control. I didn't want my son growing up in a world where everything was decided by someone else's rules. But I'm sick now. Very sick. The doctors say I don't have much time left. And Malik needs someone. He needs you. This isn't about money. Don't insult me by thinking that. This is about responsibility, about truth, about doing what's right even when it's hard. I've given you a gift, Adrian. A second chance. Most people don't get that. Don't waste it. Come find me if you want to talk. But more importantly, talk to your son. He deserves to know his father. Amara. Adrian's hands shook so hard the paper rustled. He looked at Malik. Really looked at him. The boy had his eyes. The same shape. The same dark brown color. Adrian felt something crack open inside his chest. Something he'd kept locked away for years. "Can you read it now?" Malik asked softly. "Out loud?" "Mama said you had to." Adrian's voice broke. "Yeah," he whispered. "Yeah, I can read it." And as he began to speak the words, his whole life shifted beneath him like sand giving way to the tide. Adrian read the letter out loud, his voice cracking on almost every word. When he finished, silence filled the room like fog rolling in from sea. Malik sat perfectly still, his small hands folded in his lap. He didn't cry. He didn't look away. He just waited. "Do you understand what this means?" Adrian finally asked. Malik nodded slowly. "It means you're my papa." The word hit Adrian like a punch to the stomach. Papa? Not father. Not dad. Papa? Like it was the most natural thing in the world. Adrian stood up fast, the letter falling from his hands. "This is insane. This can't be real." "It's real," Malik said quietly. "Mama doesn't lie." Adrian paced across the room, his expensive shoes clicking against the marble. His mind raced. 8 years. 8 years, and she never said a word. Never called. Never asked for help. Anger bubbled up inside him, hot and bitter. "Why didn't she tell me before?" he demanded, spinning around to face Malik. "Why wait until now? Why send you here like this?" Malik flinched just a little, but he didn't look scared. Just sad. "She was afraid," he said softly. "She thought you might take me away. Or make rules about how I should live. She wanted me to be free." "Free?" Adrian laughed, but it sounded harsh and empty. "She kept me from my own son. That's not freedom. That's... He couldn't finish. The words tangled in his throat. Malik slid off the chair and walked closer. He was so small. The top of his head barely reached Adrian's waist. "Are you mad at me?" Malik asked. The question stopped Adrian cold. "What?" No, I'm not mad at you. You sound mad." Adrian knelt down so they were eye to eye, up close. He could see even more of himself in the boy's face. The curve of his jaw, the way his eyebrows drew together when he was thinking. "I'm not mad at you, Malik," Adrian said, softer this time. "I'm just confused and scared." "Why are you scared?" "Because I don't know how to be a papa." Malik tilted his head. "Mama says nobody knows how at first. You just have to try." Adrian felt something twist inside his chest. This boy, this brave little boy who couldn't even read yet, was standing here teaching him about courage. "Where is she?" Adrian asked. "Your mama. Where is she now?" At the hospital. She's very sick. She sleeps a lot. What's wrong with her? Malik's eyes grew shiny, but he blinked the tears back. Something bad in her blood. The doctors tried medicine, but it didn't work. She says she's tired now. She says it's okay to rest. Adrian's throat tightened. I am sorry. Will you come see her? Malik asked. She wants to talk to you. Adrian stood up and turned away. He walked to the window and stared out at the perfect lawn, the perfect trees, the perfect life he'd built with walls so high nothing messy could get in. Except now it had. Messy and real and impossible to ignore. He thought about running. He could send money. Lots of it. He could hire the best lawyers, the best doctors. He could fix this from a distance, the way he fixed everything else in his life. But then he remembered the letter. Amara's words. This isn't about money. Don't insult me by thinking that. She knew him. Even after 8 years, she knew exactly what he'd try to do. Mister? Malik's voice was small behind him. Adrian turned around. Can I ask you something? Malik said, Yeah. Do you want to be my papa? Or do you wish I never came? The question hung in the air like smoke. Adrian felt his heart hammering in his chest. He wanted to say the right thing, the good thing, but he didn't know what that was. I don't know yet, he said honestly. This is all very new, very big. I need time to think. Malik nodded like he understood. Mama said you might say that. She said grown-ups need time to think about big things. Your mama sounds very wise. She is. Malik's voice got quieter. She reads me stories every night, even when she's really tired. She makes the voices funny, so I laugh. Adrian felt a sharp stab of guilt. While he was making deals and buying things he didn't need, Amar was raising their son alone, reading him stories, making him laugh, being everything a parent should be. Malik, Adrian said carefully, what do you want? If you could have anything right now, what would it be? Malik didn't hesitate. I want Mama to get better, but she says that's not going to happen. So I want someone to stay with me when she's gone, someone who won't leave. The words cut through Adrian like a knife. Someone who won't leave. That's what this was really about. Not money, not genetics. Just a little boy who was about to lose his mother and didn't want to be alone in the world. Adrian walked over and sat down on the floor, right there on the expensive marble. Malik sat down across from him, cross-legged like they were having a campfire talk. I left once before, Adrian said quietly. I left your mama without saying goodbye. I told myself it didn't matter, but it did. I was wrong. I was selfish. Are you going to leave again? Malik asked. Adrian looked into those serious brown eyes, his own eyes staring back at him, and felt something shift deep inside. No, he said. No, I'm not going to leave. Promise? I promise. Malik smiled. It was the first real smile Adrian had seen from him, and it was like the sun breaking through clouds. Okay, Malik said. Then can we go see Mama now? She'll want to know you came. Adrian took a deep breath. His hands were still shaking. His mind was still spinning. But he knew what he had to do. Yeah, he said. Let's go see her. They stood up together. Adrian grabbed his car keys from the table by the door. As they walked outside, Malik reached up and slipped his small hand into Adrian's. The touch was warm, trusting, real. Adrian squeezed gently. They walked to the car together. And for the first time in 8 years, Adrian felt like he was moving in the right direction, not toward money or success or anything he could buy, toward something that actually mattered. The hospital was 20 minutes away. They drove in silence at first, Malik looking out the window at the buildings and trees rushing by. Can I turn on the radio? Malik asked. Sure. Malik pressed buttons until he found a station playing music. A song about superheroes, saving the day. He hummed along quietly. Adrian glanced over at him. Do you like superheroes? Yeah. Mama says everyone needs someone to believe in. What about you? Who do you believe in? Malik turned and looked at him. Right now, I believe in you. Adrian's eyes stung. He blinked fast and focused on the road. When they pulled into the hospital parking lot, Malik unbuckled his seatbelt and pointed to a tall building with big glass windows. "She's on the 4th floor," he said. "Room 412. They walked through the automatic doors, past the smell of cleaning supplies and medicine, past the tired nurses and worried families in the waiting room. The elevator ride felt like it took forever. When they reached room 412, Malik stopped outside the door. "Are you scared?" he asked. "Yeah," Adrian admitted. "Are you?" "A little, but it's okay. Mama says being scared and being brave can happen at the same time." Adrian nodded. "Your mama's right." Malik pushed open the door. Inside, lying in a hospital bed surrounded by machines and tubes, was Amara. She looked different, thinner, tired, but when she saw them walking together, her face lit up with the same warm smile Adrian remembered from 8 years ago. "You came," she whispered. Adrian stepped forward, his heart pounding. "Yeah," he said, "I came." And in that moment, everything changed. Amara's eyes filled with tears when she saw them standing together. "My 2 boys," she whispered. Malik ran to her bedside and carefully climbed onto the chair next to her bed. He took her hand, the one without all the tubes, and held it gently. "I brought him, Mama, just like you said." "Good boy." Amara looked at Adrian, and even though she was weak, her gaze was sharp and clear. "Sit down, Adrian. We need to talk." Adrian pulled up another chair. He didn't know what to say, so he said nothing. "I'm dying," Amara said simply. "No drama. No tears. Just truth. The doctors give me maybe 2 weeks. Maybe less." Adrian's chest tightened. "And Mare, I am sorry. I should have been there. All these years I should have." She held up her hand, stopping him. "I didn't tell you because I chose not to. That was my decision. I don't regret it. But now things are different. Malik needs you." "I know." "Do you?" Her voice got stronger. "This isn't about writing checks or hiring nannies. This is about showing up every day when he's sick, when he's scared, when he has nightmares or bad grades or gets his heart broken for the first time. Can you do that?" Adrian looked at Malik, who was watching him with those serious brown eyes. "I can try," Adrian said. "Trying isn't enough," Amara said firmly. "You either do it or you don't. There's no halfway with kids." "Then yes," Adrian said, his voice steady now. "Yes, I'll do it. I'll be there. I promise." Amara studied his face for a long moment. Then she nodded. "Okay, I believe you." Malik squeezed her hand. "See, Mama? I told you he'd say yes." Amara smiled and touched his cheek. "You were right, baby. You're always right." They talked for another hour. Amara told Adrian about Malik's favorite foods, his fear of thunderstorms, how he liked to sleep with nightlight shaped like a moon. She told him about the school Malik went to, his teacher's name, his best friend who lived 3 blocks away. She was giving him a map, a guide to their son's life. When visiting hours ended, Malik kissed his mama's cheek. "I'll come back tomorrow." "I know you will." Amara looked at Adrian. "Take care of him tonight. And every night after." "I will," Adrian promised. As they walked out of the hospital, Malik slipped his hand into Adrian's again. It was starting to feel natural now. "Are you hungry?" Adrian asked. "A little. What do you like to eat?" "Pizza and chicken nuggets and ice cream." Adrian smiled. "How about we get all 3? Malik's eyes went wide. "Really? Really?" That night, in Adrian's big fancy kitchen, they ate pizza and chicken nuggets and ice cream right out of the container. They made a mess. They laughed. And for the first time, Adrian felt like he was doing something that mattered. The days that followed were hard. Adrian had to learn everything from scratch. How to pack a lunch. How to braid hair for a picture day at school, even though he did it terribly and Malik had to fix it. How to read bedtime stories with funny voices the way Amara did. Some days, Adrian felt lost. Other days, he felt angry at himself for all the time he'd wasted. But Malik was patient, kind, forgiving in ways that grown-ups rarely are. "You're getting better at this," Malik said one morning as Adrian successfully made pancakes without burning them. Yeah, Mama would be proud." 1 week later, Adrian signed the guardianship papers at the lawyer's office. His hand shook as he wrote his name, but this time it wasn't from fear. It was from something else, something that felt like purpose. 2 weeks later, they enrolled Malik in a new school closer to Adrian's house. Malik was nervous about leaving his old friends, but Adrian promised to drive him back for playdates every week. "You won't forget?" Malik asked. "I won't forget," Adrian said. And he meant it. 3 weeks later, on a cold Tuesday morning, the hospital called. Amara was fading fast. They needed to come now. Adrian and Malik rushed to the hospital. They ran through the hallways, past the nurses who knew them by name now, and burst into room 412. Amara was barely awake. Her breathing was shallow, but when she saw them, she smiled. "There you are," she whispered. Malik climbed onto the bed, careful not to hurt her, and curled up beside her like he was still a baby. "I'm here, Mama." "I know, sweetheart." She looked at Adrian. "Come closer." Adrian moved to the bedside. Amara reached out and took his hand. "You kept your promise," she said softly. "I can see it. The way he looks at you. The way you look at him. You're really trying." "I'm not perfect," Adrian said, his voice cracking. "I mess up every day." "Good." Amara smiled. "That means you're a real parent. We all mess up. What matters is that you stay, that you keep trying, that you love him even when it's hard." "I do," Adrian said, tears running down his face. "I love him so much it scares me." "Don't be scared," Amara whispered. "Just be there. That's all he needs." She turned to Malik and kissed his forehead. "I love you, baby, more than all the stars in the sky." "I love you too, Mama," Malik said, crying now. "Take care of your papa," she said. "Teach him how to be brave. You're so good at that." "I will." Amara closed her eyes. Her breathing slowed. And then, with her son beside her and the man she once loved holding her hand, she let go. The funeral was small. Just a few friends, some neighbors, and Malik's teacher, who hugged him tight and told him he was the bravest boy she'd ever known. Adrian stood beside Malik the whole time, his hand on the boy's shoulder. When it was time to speak, Malik asked if he could say something. "Mama taught me that love isn't just a feeling," Malik said, his voice small but clear. "It's a choice you make every day. She chose to love me every single day. And now my papa is choosing too." Adrian's heart broke and healed at the same time. After the funeral, life settled into a new rhythm. Malik moved into Adrian's house permanently. They turned the guest room into Malik's room, painting the walls blue like the ocean and hanging up posters of superheroes and astronauts. Every morning, Adrian made breakfast. Some days it was good, some days it was burnt, but they ate it together. Every afternoon, Adrian picked Malik up from school. They'd talk about homework and friends and silly things that happened during the day. Every evening, they'd read stories. Malik was learning to read now, sounding out words slowly, and Adrian helped with the hard ones. Every night before bed, Malik would ask, "You're not leaving, right?" And every night, Adrian would answer, "I'm not leaving. I promise." Months passed, then a year. Adrian learned that being a father wasn't about being perfect. It was about showing up, about listening, about being present in the small moments that build a life together. He learned that Malik loved rainy days because they could build forts inside, that he was scared of the dentist, but brave at the doctor, that he missed his mama every single day, but was learning to carry that sadness without letting it crush him. And Malik learned that his papa wasn't perfect either, that he got frustrated sometimes, that he didn't always have the answers, but that he was trying, always trying. One night, as Adrian tucked Malik into bed, the boy looked up at him and said, "I'm glad you read that letter." "Me too," Adrian said. "Do you think Mama can see us? From heaven?" "I think so. What do you think?" Malik smiled. "I think she's happy, because we're together, like we're supposed to be." Adrian kissed his forehead. "Get some sleep, buddy." "Papa?" "Yeah. I love you." Adrian's eyes filled with tears. "I love you too, Malik. So much." As he turned off the light and walked out of the room, Adrian thought about that day at the gate. The small boy with the white envelope. The question that changed everything. I can't read. Can you read it to me? He'd read the letter. And in doing so, he'd read the story of his own life and decided to write a different ending. Not one about wealth or success or things that didn't matter, but one about love, about responsibility, about showing up for the people who need you most. That was the real treasure, and it was worth more than all the money in the world. If this story touched your heart, if it made you think about the choices we make and the lives we build, then like this story, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe for more stories that remind us what truly matters in life. Because sometimes the most powerful question isn't about what we have, but about who we choose to be when it matters most.